Well, I thought I had it for a little while today. This is the Arducopter release notes. I hate that it says 438 here, but it's got actually 440 here. I had been running 440 beta 2 from the 5th of June right here on that particular platform. If you run through here and you look for any M10 information, I thought there was one below. Yeah, 435, 432. What's this one? That's 440 beta 3. So there's only, well, it says 3 matches down here, but if we look at them real quick, 435 here, it had GPS unconfigured error fix for non M10 U-Blocks GPSs. So that was fairly recent. That was March of this year. I have a viewer that was using 431 if I remember correctly, but there's no occurrences of M10 below this line in this document. No, there it is. 431 looks like was the first one that had U-Blocks M10 support. Yep, we're back up to 440 beta 3. So, if we look at this again, isn't that something? This is jumping around a little strangely on me. Well, we'll just go to the top. I'll do what I was originally intended. I was running 440 beta 2. This one right here. And looks like beta 3 came out in July. I didn't upgrade to that. And beta 4, 27th of July. Well, this one was probably out while I was messing with this stuff, but this one wasn't. It was almost 4 weeks later. And this is the current 440. I don't think I have this. And this is for drone CAN GPS. I'm not using the GPS on 440 beta 4. Bug fixes, nope. Beta 3 though. Start from up here again. M10. Yeah, beta 3 had one in it that U-Blocks 10S auto configuration fixed. So see, I was running beta 2. So I had great hopes today that this right here was something that would fix my GPS problem. And of course this one is the one I was running. Now we can see that in 3.5 there was a fix for non-M10, and in 3.1 M10 support came up. But we don't know That was December 2022 when M10 support started. We don't know how much trouble has been going on. Luckily, I know some that are trouble-free with it. Actually, I think one. Oh well. So, in beta 3, way up at the top, in beta 3, I had hoped. That's beta 4. I had hoped. Wow. Beta 3. That's beta 3. Yeah, here we are. uBlocks 10S GPS auto configuration fixed. I was hoping that was 10 serial, M10 serial GPS. So I changed from 440 beta 2 all the way up to 440 today on that platform, so it would match the flame wheel. Well, I took them outside tonight, put them side by side, hooked them both into USB ports on the notebook, fired up Mission Planner, let them sit there for 10 minutes, and the flame wheel has 14 satellites, and the little 5-inch has 7. So that was rather disappointing. Also today I found some of the information that I had been missing before, couldn't find it again, that I actually found like the first day. This is the AP, I'm going to call this peripheral drone CAN GNSS M10 L4 3100 GPS module. It has a M10S. Wow, look at that. So I guess that fix in one of them addressed, the data's addressed me for the future. I wonder if that's what this one, the M10Q. Nope, it's got an M10Q in it, so that doesn't directly address it. It's got a compass in it, and it's got a barometer in it. Like I need another barometer just to make my life worse. So I've got this one on order because I'm going to put it on the CAN bus on the 5-inch and see what happens. Because still, it's something evidently in that hardware, because the flame wheel with a 743 wing on it doesn't have the problem. The 743 Mini does have the problem. While I was looking at this GPS, this came up at the bottom of this list that says B-do whatever it is, B1 or 11. Looks like that's a 1 with a little mark to separate these. I don't know. Sometimes these documents and translation just get really screwed up. But it says we're going to call this beta do. That's not it. I'm going to call it B-do. And GLONASS can't be enabled at the same time. Okay, I guess that's 1, something like that, because this one is B-do B1C. And GLONASS can be enabled at the same time. Flight controller. flight controller firmware iNav Beta Flight and Ardu Pilot don't support enabling Beidou B1C for now. Well, what other flight software is there out there? I think NAS is gone, isn't it? Clean Flight, whatever. So this is where I had seen, this is the statement I was looking for that I'd seen near day one on this, that this Beidou and GLONASS, some kind of configuration, can't be enabled at the same time. This is in the specifications area of the GPS that hopefully will be here. Tomorrow's Wednesday? No. Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday, isn't it? I think today's Tuesday. Not be Monday. It's Tuesday. And on the 5883, which I have 3 of now, if you go on their specifications and tips, down in here there's nothing said about the Beidou or whatever, and the GLONASS cannot be enabled at the same time. This says the default configuration on these GPSs with U-Blox 5.1 firmware, which we have pretty much decided I have, is concurrent reception of GPS Galileo, GLONASS, and Beidou B1C with QZSS and SBAS enabled. Okay. This right here says that B1C can be enabled, whereas this right here says flight controller firmware iNav Beta Flight and Ardu Pilot don't support enabled Beidou B1C for now. So see, there's some things going on in here that is a little certainly not written in stone yet, but it's just doesn't seem to be well defined and figured out. So this didn't have anything about those two not being used at the same time, but this does say they can't be used at the same time. I don't know if this is where I found that, the first time I ever found that statement, and this isn't the GPS. I haven't got one of these yet, so I shouldn't have been paying much attention to it. But now that I'm going to have one, does this one work different? And on a U-Blox M10S, you have no support for Beidou B1C, whereas on a U-Blox M10Q, you do. So I think this is one of the reasons I'm having all this trouble, is this firmware and stuff is still in flux. And maybe on the mini and slim hardware I haven't done a message to. Matex yet. I don't think I'll have much joy when I do, so trying to figure it out on my own. This was a place I had been before too, way back in the beginning. And this doesn't. Have any of those tips, and that just doesn't address my problem in any shape, form, or fashion. So with that in mind, that you can't see those two, a viewer sent me this last night, and it shows exactly that. If you look up there, we have what? Your GPS satellites, which is what the United States put up first. And then SBAS, I'm not too sure about that. I think that's a way of looking at satellites, kind of a different way using the same satellites? I don't know. I'll have to educate myself on that. Then you've got Galileo and Beidou, I'm going to call it. And then you got QZSS. And you notice GLONASS is not enabled there. This was with, I'd have to count them right down through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's close to 30 satellites locked up here. And got an HDOP of 0.670. This, I think, is the biggest thing we're looking for precision on the location of these platforms. Now, I'm not so sure why I'm getting down in the weeds over all this. If it's going to be a difference of 3 feet, I'm not sure I care at all. I'm getting more and more chasing this problem where I don't really care. Give me 8 sats and I'll be happy. But this was his U-center. So this does, up in the top there, does show that GLONASS is not enabled. These are just some notes. I didn't make any headway today. I'm still waiting on the CAN bus GPS to come in the door. So far, I do have a different flywheel that came in the door. I'll show you that one real quick. And this is the other module that I ordered back when I thought the flywheel was going to work. This is a GM10 Mini V3 GPS with compass. It's a flywheel. And the reason I ordered it is size. That's all there is to it. You can see it's just smaller than the other one. GPS with compass. And if you look at the back of that 5-inch, this one will fit in the TPU. This one won't. That's the only reason I got it. And at that time, I thought the flywheel was going to fix it. I may still use this one, or I'll put it on one of the airplanes. I'm gonna have 5 or 6 M10 GPSs here before we know. And look at that on the back. This one is not wired the same as the other flywheel I got. This one's got serial, clock and data on the left side, then receive and transmit in the middle, and 5 volts and ground out on the right side, whereas that one has 5 volts and ground in the center too. So although the connector's the same on it, I can't plug it in place of that one without resoldering the flight controller. Oh my Lord. So that's some of the notes about what's been going on here today. So tonight I've got the flame wheel, has an H743 wing in it with Arducopter 440 installed on it. Not a perimeter touched on it. I put it outside, put this 5-inch right next to it with Arducopter 440 on it, with not a perimeter touched on it. Actually, that's what's in it right now. It just came back inside from that testing. It's got just a straight Arducopter 440 on it. Because I was wondering about that alt board config perimeter that you have to set for crossfire receiver to be CRSF. Little things like that's the only reason I could think that this doesn't work. And the flame wheel got 14 satellites and this one got 7. So the firmware was not the fix for it. My last hope right now before I just set these aside for a while until the industry gets their act together on them, is wait on that CAN bus GPS to get in here and try that and see if it fixes it. If it does, I can put a CAN bus M10 on this and a 7-inch and be done with this crap. All these other GPSs will go on an airplane. There is zero doubt in my mind that I can put all these GPSs on a H743 wing, F765 wing. Don't know about others. Might try it very soon on a F405 light. Not quite sure. There's something coming through the door tomorrow that might be a surprise to everybody. Was to me when I ordered it. I said I wasn't going to build any more things, but it looks like I am. I see no reason. The only difference in this, there's no difference in the firmware, there's no difference in the parameters file. The only difference is the hardware. And so far for me, a mini and a slim won't do it. I haven't tried this on the slim yet. Maybe 440 on the slim will make it start working on the 7-inch. So I'm sure before Friday, the CAN bus GPS will be in here and we'll know. Also, the landlord stopped by a while ago. I was driving around the house and I caught him as he's coming around by the back door. What's going on with those trees? He's got a furrier coming tomorrow to give him an estimate on taking those 3 down. And I might go out there and take a video of one of them tomorrow, the one that was leaning really badly over the house. If you look at that poor old tree, it's all the limbs on it are on one side. It is crazy. If I was going to be cutting that tree for firewood, which I've done a lot of cutting trees for firewood, one of the first things you do is you look up, are the limbs kind of evenly spaced around the perimeter of the trunk, or are they all on one side? A novice guy with a chainsaw sometimes will start cutting down a tree and think he's felling it in one direction, and when it starts to go, it goes in a completely opposite direction because all of the limbs are on that side. So this one's pretty bad. I certainly wouldn't want to take it down. All right, that's just some notes. What's going on? I've got 2 or 3 people sending me emails several times a day trying to help with this. I got a lot of help. It's not a problem for me. Now that I know it's this hardware, it can't be anything but this hardware. I'm fairly calm about the project. Just want to get these things built and pushed aside. I may end up putting the M10Qs back on them if they lock me up with enough satellites. And if the landlord takes down enough trees in the backyard, that might be what lets those particular GPSs lock up enough satellites when they can see more of the sky. All right, guys. Thank you.